The first step of this lesson is to import and set up the structures and then review them. And the second part of the next part will be to set up the structures in our user layers. So just like most of our lessons, we have these templates, but just for your personal information, culvert data does not typically come in a line format. You might, if you're lucky, you might get it in a point format, but typically what will happen is you'll be scanning the map for culverts and structures. Hopefully you'll be able to see them like this, or you may have to do sort of a site survey to see where they are. But as far as I know, I don't know of any data out there that just has culvert data in it. So you'll need site survey or as-built data so you can get the inlet and outlet geometry on these culverts so you can develop their rating tables. But that's already been done for this project, and so I've given you templates that show you a general location of where the culvert should go. And what we're going to do is build these lines into the regular lines where they're supposed to go. So if you're in the self-help kit and you're going with hydraulic structures, you'll be able to copy, or what we're going to do is copy the structures from this line to this line. And you should see that if you use the select button up here, you can click and select like that. Or if you prefer, you can click, as long as you're highlighted on this layer, you should be able to select all features. The Control C buttons will copy the selected features, and then you would go to the structure layer, and for this we need the widget. So if you haven't already done so, collapse your widgets and then expand the structure editor and click the edit button. Then this is going to set it up so that you are in editing mode over on here. So you can see as soon as you get into the active layer that your cursor changes into an editing cursor, but we don't want to do that yet. What we want to do is activate the map. So I'm going to just click my center roller wheel and then unclick it, and that basically switches me to this active area. And then I can use the Control V key to paste those structures into that data. When I do the save, I need to do it over here. And that commits the structures to this group, to these groups, and fills their tables. Now what we need to do is to highlight individual structures and start naming them and filling out their remaining attributes. So what we'll do is we'll use this tool right here to center on the structure, on the active structure, and then we can zoom in until its name appears. Hang on a second, I have to go and make sure to turn the name back on. Single labels, structure name. I thought I just did this, but maybe I clicked cancel. And then I'll set the size of the name to 12 points and click OK. Alright, so again, you saw me do that in the first video, so I won't do that again. So now we can start by clicking this rename button and renaming the structure to CULV underscore, and then I want to select and copy that because I'm going to be doing that 11 more times. So copy that CULV underscore, and then you can tell the one that we're working on because it has a red rubber band assigned to it because it's the active structure. And then so that goes 1 to 8 because that matches the name here, and then click OK, and then you should be able. Unfortunately, what that does is it sends this to the top of the list. So you have to go you have to click the drop down and find the next one. You can't just use your arrow keys. So the next one will be, then I Control V and I can paste from my clipboard 129, and then to the next one. This one is 129B. And oops, I didn't mean 129B. Probably could, oh, never mind. I already have that one. We're good. I didn't have to do it again, even though I clicked that A again. This one is 129C. And 009. 069, 070, 122, 125. Interesting that usually the name covers it up. I wonder if it's because I moved it. Let's try that. If name and 126. Wonder if I'm going to try this one more time. Click OK, and then I'll select another one just to. Nope, I don't know why, but I guess it's because I moved it over, and so this is the center of the map, but this is centered on the screen, so maybe that's what it is, because it's usually in the way. You have to move it. Okay, so now what we do is stay on the centered button, and now we start to review the culverts, and we determine whether or not they're floodplain to floodplain, floodplain to channel, and then we need to set them to rating table. So here what we can do is we can use our roller wheel in here to quickly move between them, and we can see that this one is floodplain to floodplain. So if I hover over this button, I can just drag my roller wheel down once and it'll move it to rating table, and we're going to keep doing that, continue through that. Okay, the next one is a floodplain to channel, and we need to make sure that this is on a left bank node. So that goes floodplain to channel rating table. This one is floodplain to channel, but unfortunately it's sharing with a storm drain outfall, and that's not recommended. So it may fail if we leave it in that configuration. So what we'll do is we will should be on this layer. Click on this layer, click edit, and then click the vertex tool, and then you should be able to pick it up and just move it so that it's inside the same grid element as this left bank centroid. And then when the next time that we run the Schematize tool, it'll reset the data to that layer. We'll do that at the very end, and then we'll check them again. And this one is floodplain to channel, and it's rating table. So the next one is floodplain to floodplain, rating table. And then we have floodplain to channel, and it is inside a left bank, so it's okay. So it goes floodplain to channel, rating table. This one is also okay. See, it's inside a left bank, floodplain to channel, rating table. And this one is floodplain to floodplain, floodplain to floodplain. But see how this one is grouped with 3 other culverts? That means we're setting it up using the simple storm drain system, and it needs what we refer to as a D line. And so I have to click storm drain capacity and give it I'm going to give it like let's see, 60. It says these these have a capacity of 200 CFS, but I am highly doubtful of that. So I'm going to give them a capacity of 150 total, and I'm going to change the rating table when we import it. And then the next one is 129B, and it's also floodplain to floodplain, rating table. Let me make sure I have to change that to rating table. And this one does not need the storm drain capacity to be assigned, because it only needs to be assigned once. And this one is a rating table and storm drain capacity, and this one is channel to channel, and it's already set up because we set it up in the channel lesson. And again, channel to channel, and we set it up in the channel lesson. So now we can click the Save button and the Schematize button, and as soon as we did that, it fixed our schema layer and sent it to there. So now I can do one more thing. I'm going to just check these one more time and go through them one more time just to make sure that everything's right. So floodplain rating table, floodplain, nope, that one's wrong. This one needs to go floodplain to channel. Floodplain to channel, rating table. Floodplain to floodplain, rating table. Floodplain to channel, rating table. floodplain to channel, rating table. Floodplain to floodplain, rating table. We need to change that to rating table. Floodplain to floodplain, rating table. Floodplain, rating table, floodplain, rating table. Okay, so the rest of them seem okay. I did find a couple of errors. But it doesn't matter if this one's an error, because when you import the rating tables, they will be updated, which is the next thing that we do. So I'm going to hit Schematize one more time because I did make a couple of changes there to a couple of structures that I had messed up. And then I believe I should unselect all, and then we need to import the rating tables, and it says only files with the same name of an existing structure will be loaded. And if you're in lesson 6, there's a thing called culvert tables, a folder called culvert tables, and we want to select all of them and click open, and it says that all of these were loaded. So we can see everything is accounted for except the 129A or B and C. So we can set those up now. So let's go to 129, and remember I said I wanted to reduce its curve. And because I didn't really think that, I honestly don't think that these tiny little guys are capable of 200 CFS. So I think what I'll do is I will take them and limit them to, let's see, I said I would limit them to 50 CFS, but that's not actually on the list. So let's limit them to 3 feet, whatever 3 feet is. 3 feet should be about 104. So let's take out 23 through 34. We'll just take that out. Delete. That is, yeah, we can just delete those. And now we've kind of just dropped that down to 3 feet. And we can, let's see what we can do here. We can take and select the first cell and then select the last cell using the Shift button, and then copy that. I think you can Control C it or copy it because Robson fixed this table. And then change this to the B and put it in here and either paste or Control V. Yeah, perfect. And then same thing on the next one down, paste or Control V. And now we have the same head water control on all 3 of these as our rating table. And they're all 3 ready to go. Now I believe the next thing to do is to save, exit, and run. And I believe we cover that in the next video. So I'm going to stop the video here, and then we'll pick this back up on the next video.